all you professional wrestling fans. Welcome back to Squared Circle Speak, your home for any and everything professional wrestling. And today we're turning back the clock. We've got another retro pay-per-view review, and we're going back to the year 2004 to watch a little TNA Turning Point. And this is very early TNA. They'd only been around for 2 years at this point, and this was the first year they did monthly pay-per-views, not weekly. They were doing weekly pay-per-views. This was the first time they did the big shows.
Well, I think they only had 3 or 4 though, so
they didn't
weren't
have
monthly.
This was only their second one ever. This was their second big pay-per-view.
Right.
First one was Victory Road. This is Turning Point. This is notable for two things. Randy Savage last match was on this show, and I will tell you later how that was not much of anything. But also this is notable for Elix Skipper doing his cage walk. Happened on this show. So there's some good matches, some not so good matches on the show, but overall this show is really fun. So let's get into this show. Turning Point 2004. We kicked the night off with Team Canada, Eric Young and Bobby Roode versus 3 Live Crew, BG James and Ron Killings for the NWA World Tag Team Championship. Now the history here, 3 Live Crew beat Team Canada. They took out Conan. Conan was the original partner for BG James. Ron Killings stepped in as they were already partners, but Ron Killings was doing singles work at the time. But he came in, stepped in. A little short match. It was only about 8.5 minutes. This match wasn't much, but it was pretty fun getting to see Eric Young and Bobby Roode. They ended up winning because there was involvement from another Team Canada member, which his name is escaping me at the moment.
Yeah, it's that blonde guy.
Yeah.
Start with a D. Start with a D. I don't know.
And yeah. Anyway, Johnny Devine. Johnny Devine hit BG James with a hockey stick.
Did you say a cocky stick?
A hockey stick. He fucked it up though, because he tried to hit it and he had a Canadian flag on it, and it threw off his momentum of hitting him, and he didn't know how to actually do it. But he broke a hockey stick over his back, and Team Canada steals the win to regain the NWA World Tag Team Championships. This was fun though, getting to see Eric Young and Bobby Roode in there with BG James and Ron Killings. Ron Killings was on. He looks the same, dude. I watched this match and I was like, he's the same. This was freaking 20 years ago, and he looks the same.
No.
It's crazy.
It really is. He don't age.
He was out there flying around. But yeah, this was. It was decent. There were way better tag team matches later on in the show.
All right.
The next match was a 6-man tag team match. This match is fucking phenomenal. Sonny Siaki, Hector Garza, and Sanjay Dutt versus Kid Cash, Michael Shane, and Kazarian. These 6 men went out there and flew around the ring. Sanjay Dutt, I forgot how fluid he was in the ring. My God, he could move. This was something to do with Jimmy Snuka. I don't know exactly what the story was, but I guess Kid Cash had been disrespecting Jimmy Snuka, and so he was not there, but he kept getting talked about. I don't know what it had to do with Jimmy Snuka. They didn't show anything, but yeah, Sonny Siaki, and Sonny Siaki was so good, man. Just there was a spot, Sonny Siaki, I think it was Kid Cash was on the top rope, and Siaki threw Sanjay Dutt powerbomb position and launched him up into the air, and Sanjay Dutt landed on Kid Cash's shoulders and then hit a Hurricane Rana, and it was fucking crazy, dude. And Michael Shane's there being Shawn Michaels. Really fun. This match I loved every minute of it. It's 11 minutes. It doesn't feel like 11 minutes, so it flies by. But Siaki, Garza, and Sanjay Dutt get the win. Hector Garza, by the way, is the dad of Angel Garza, who's currently in WWE. And the uncle of Humberto. But this was a fun match, man. This match was great. They flew around the ring. It's a typical X Division style match, and it was pretty good. Then we had Monty Brown and Abyss in a Serengeti survival match. What is that? I'll tell you. You can win this match by pinfall, submission, or slamming your opponent in thumbtacks.
What's that got to do with the Serengeti?
You know, I thought that to myself the whole time, and I don't really know. This was not good, by the way. I was a big Monty Brown fan, but this was slow and not a lot happened. And this match was it wasn't good. They botched the ending too. And the ending is supposed to be, you slam your opponent in some thumbtacks, right? So they both grab bags. They both grab bags. Monty Brown throws his bag of tacks on the ground. He slams them out. So Abyss says, "Fuck it, I guess I don't need Monty." He just throws his away. You know. And then Monty Brown's going to slam Abyss into the thumbtacks, and he completely misses, and only like the little bit of Abyss's head hits the thumbtacks. And they counted it, and they're like, "Oh, the match is over." I'm like, I don't think Abyss even hit the thumbtacks, honestly. But
Wow.
they botched it. But other than that, this match was a hardcore match, but with not a lot of hardcore stuff. It was not good.
I wonder if it was a case of Monty Brown was like, "Yeah, let's do this," and then when it got to the time, he was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing all that."
Yeah, well, they didn't do much of anything. Like they
Yeah,
didn't really do.
I feel like Monty Brown pulled a power card there. He was like, I ain't doing all this shit."
Yeah, and then oh boy, Nathan, Pat Kenny and Johnny B. Bad. So that is Simon Diamond and Mark Marrow
All right,
defeated Johnny Swinger and Glenn Gilberti.
Jesus Christ.
Match. Now, let me tell you, I don't know what the fuck this match had to do with anything in this show. These four old dudes, like, it wasn't very good. Jacqueline was there too. She was the special referee. Again, I don't know why. This felt like they just didn't know what to do and they needed another match, so they threw all these people in one match. Pat Kenny and Johnny B. Bad won, and I'm pretty sure this was Johnny B. Bad's only an appearance in TNA. I don't think he was there.
No,
most
now,
often.
weird enough, for some reason I remember this. He was definitely on one episode when they were on Fox Sports because I remember watching it.
Yeah.
So
He
he
was
was at
he was
least there
around
twice.
for a little bit, but I don't know what the fuck. Like, what is it? Why did he go back to Johnny B. Bad anyway?
Because WWE, I don't know. I
His
don't think they
real
own
name
the
is
rights.
Mark Marrow. He could have just been Mark Marrow, but instead he went back to the Johnny B. Bad character, and I don't know
Now,
why, because that
I
doesn't
don't
work
know.
in 2004. That's not gonna work.
I don't know, man.
Oh yeah, this match sucked. Then we had a match straight out of WCW in the 90s. Diamond Dallas Page versus Raven.
Wow.
And this was just like every DDP and Raven match. So Chris, who was on commentary? Um, God damn it, what's his name?
Not Mike Tenay.
No, he was a special on comment. He was a special guy. He got involved in the match. Um, he's a second generation wrestler. What the fuck's his name? Eric Watts.
Oh, okay.
Eric Watts was on commentary during this match, and why I don't know. Apparently, he was like trained or he was friends with both of these guys, and he was talking about it. And then two dudes in hoods showed up to help Raven. I don't know what was going on. They were both on black hoods, so he got out and he goes, "I'm not having this happen," and he got out and took them out, and then he hit a clothesline on DDP for no reason. And they said he turned on him, but I don't know if he was ever actually with DDP. He hit him with a clothesline, but then Raven couldn't finish it, and DDP ended up winning anyway.
What in the blue hell?
And Raven hit DDP with a DDT on like the fucking chair, and DDP still kicked out. And then Diamond Dallas Page beat Raven.
What the
In
fuck?
2004, for whatever reason. And I'm pretty sure he was only around for like a little bit after this, and then he was gone anyway. So like he wasn't around much longer.
That's clusterfuck and a half.
That was WCW booking.
Yeah.
Then we had a really fantastic singles match for the X Division Championship. PD Williams and Chris Sabin. Boy, this match was fun. These two went at it. The whole purpose of this match was that Sabin had a counter for the Canadian Destroyer. No one had been able to counter it. No one had been able to get out of it. And so that was basically the whole match was him trying to figure out how to get out of the. And it was a really fun match. They went back and forth. He did counter it, but then PD Williams ended up winning anyway. But this match was fucking phenomenal, dude. They went back and forth. They did shit I'd never seen before. I mean, this match was. You talk about like prime TNA, and like this was that right there. This match. This was the X Division. It could have went. Well, it was 18 minutes. They could have went 25, and I would not have cared. But this match was great. If you watch one match from this show, I'd say it's probably that one. This show was great. And then we fell down a fucking shitstorm with Jeff Jarrett, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall versus AJ Styles, Jeff Hardy, and Randy Savage. Holy shit. So AJ and Jeff they were great. When they were in there with Jeff Jarrett, it was great. But when Kevin Nash and Scott Hall got in this match, by the way, earlier in the night, Randy Savage got kidnapped. So they didn't know if he was going to be there or not. So it was 2-on-3. And Kevin Nash and Scott Hall came out dressed like Elvis because they were calling themselves the Kings of Wrestling. They both, about 5 minutes into this match, they both really looked like they were about to die. They were both blown up because they were in there with AJ Styles and Jeff Hardy, who were just flying around the ring. I mean, AJ was hitting drop kicks, flying around. This was mostly AJ in the ring by himself most of this match. Like Jeff Hardy wasn't in this match very often. AJ was hitting drop kicks, flying around. And it got really crazy. And then it got to a point where Hardy was looking for a swanton. Scott Hall hit him with a chair. He landed on Jeff Jarrett. Chaos everywhere. Randy Savage comes out. Now, the Randy Savage comes in, punch Jeff Jarrett, punch Kevin Nash, punch Scott Hall. Punch Jeff Jarrett, punch Kevin Nash, punch Scott Hall. Sleeper hold on Jeff Jarrett. And then Jeff Jarrett turns it around. Randy Savage punches him in the face, pins him. That's the whole thing Randy Savage did in this match. I think he was in the match for about 2 minutes.
Oh my God.
And that was it. And that is Randy Savage's last match.
No elbow drop. No,
Nothing. He just came out, did some punches, did a sleeper hold. And I don't remember what happened. He did, but he ended up pinning Jeff Jarrett. He pinned the champion. And the announcers were like, Mike Tenay and Don West are like, oh my God, he just pinned the champion. He's got to have a title shot. Like, he's got it. And then he never came back.
That's TNA for you.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It's just, this whole thing was like this huge feud. And then after this, it like fell apart immediately after this match. Like, because the Kings of Wrestling ended up like breaking up. And then Randy Savage just never showed up again. And this all felt like it was for nothing.
Yeah. That's not a good way to end your first real pay-per-view.
No, that wasn't the end. That wasn't the end because the main event was the 6 Lives of Steel match. No titles.
Okay.
No
titles on the line.
The losing team was forced to disband. America's Most Wanted versus Triple X. This match is awesome. This is another match I'd highly recommend watching if you haven't watched. It was bloody. It was high flying. You had Christopher Daniels and Skipper versus Harris and Storm. They were all beating the fuck out of each other. And this is, when Skipper did his cage walk on the very fucking top of the cage, which was the scariest thing. Even rewatching it here, I was scared out of my mind. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. You tiptoe across the top of a cage, which their cage was tall as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it was scary. He ended up doing a hurricane run off the top. It ended with the death sentence by America's Most Wanted, which forced Triple X to, disband. But and then they reformed a year, like 2 years later.
Wow.
But this was honestly, this match was really good. The only downside I would say was that 6-man tag, and then that random tag team match between fucking Disco Inferno and Johnny B. Bad and all that. Every other match was actually pretty highly entertaining. Monty Brown and Abyss didn't do much, but it was good. And then DDP and Raven, for being both kind of older, had a really good match as well. Overall, I'd say this was like a 7 out of 10 pay-per-view. I mean, only their second ever like big pay-per-view, and did pretty good on it. So I forget how good and how like excited everything was in like old TNA. Like, just the announcers were so into it. And
No.
the crowd was so into it. Like, it was such a exciting thing to watch. This was fun. They also did stupid shit the whole show. They had a fake Vince McMahon walking around and fake Triple H and all this shit.
Jesus Christ.
This was when WWE came to like Orlando and they did that whole video where they brought them cookies or whatever the fuck. Yeah, they showed that footage on here, and then they had like a fake Vince McMahon on the show throughout.
Jesus.
They're just fucking dumb. That I didn't like. I skipped all that because I didn't care to see any of that shit. But yeah,
Fucking
that was also something they did. But everything else was fine. This was really fun to go back and rewatch it. And the whole show.
At least they knew that Randy match was gonna suck. So then they put the tag team match on last.
I think I remember someone talking about it. I think like it was supposed to be more, and then Randy Savage just basically said, "Yeah, I ain't doing this shit." Like, just basically didn't want to do it. So, and then I think that's why they never brought him back. So like, all right, well, I guess he's done. So I just don't think I think he saw how like I don't know. I think he just wasn't feeling how small TNA was,
Yeah.
And so he was like, "Yeah, I ain't doing this shit." But yeah, it is available on TNA's YouTube channel for free. So that's how I watch it. You can watch the whole thing on YouTube right now. So if you haven't seen Turning Point 2004, I'd say you should probably check it out. It was a pretty fantastic pay-per-view and a really good start to that era of TNA. This is when they really started to hit their stride. And between 2004 and like 2007, they were like on fire. So this was the beginning of the golden era of TNA, as people like to call it. So really good to go back and watch this stuff. So really fun stuff.
All right.
All right. Anything you'd like to add before we end this one?
No, I'd say our next time we do a retro review, we'll probably have to come up with something ECW related.
Yeah. Well, I haven't watched ECW yet, and that shit could get crazy. I haven't watched a lot of ECW, so like, and I'd never actually watched this show either. Like, I'd seen the highlights, but I never watched the whole thing. So this is fun going back and watching shows I've never actually watched. So
yeah,
ECW. If you have
ain't gonna lie though, some of these retro shows frustrate me because I see people on here that I'm like, I wish they would have done more with them. And then,
trust me, when I saw how over Monty Brown was with the crowd, I was like, God damn it, he should have won the title.
yeah.
So, all right, that's gonna do it. So Nathan, take us away with the ending.
All right, so yeah, if you liked what you saw here on this video and listening to these two jokers talk about wrestling, smash that like button and tap that subscribe and tickle that little notification bell so you always hear, make sure you're ready for more of this great content that we put out on a daily basis. Great in quotations.
All right, and we'll see you in the next one.